All right, well, how will the Sixers make us sweat tonight? After that one, what can they do for an encore? Make it easy where we don't have to sweat as they take on the Bucks without Giannis. Welcome to the PHLY Sixers pregame show, live from the Xfinity studio along with Derek, Kyle, I'm Devon. Bree is the president of basketball operations. He's with us as well. And all of you, we appreciate you hanging out with us for this pregame for some Friday night hoops as the Sixers try to carry the momentum from last night's victory into Milwaukee on the second night of a back-to-back. We are presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. When you do download the app, make sure you sign up using the code PHLY365. We'll get to the Bet365 picks a little bit later in the pregame. We have to talk about the starters once they are announced. Well, they'll be announced sooner than we talk about them, but we will talk about them. And also, got to get the guys' thoughts on the Giannis stuff is starting to percolate a little bit more around the parts. So we have to talk about them, but first we got to get reaction from last night's victory. Welcome back, Kyle. And Derek was in the arena. Kyle had the night off, but we had a blast talking about it on postgame. But Derek, you were there. All the action in the second half for the Sixers, at least for that last 9 seconds, was coming your way. So I wanted to get your thoughts on explaining it, how it looked, what was going on in the arena. What was the crowd like? Because we were looking, some of them looked like they were standing, others were sitting. The action where the final play with Melton trying to get that layup and Tyrese Maxey getting the block, Barlow, and Edgecombe charging at Melton, and the best layup maker the Sixers have ever had, D'Anthony Melton. You kind of knew what was going to happen, but Melton did not make the layup. Tyrese Maxey saved the day. What was it like?
No, I mean, so like because we post-game press conferences, I record them. I like to go down before the game ends to where I basically stand in the tunnel right by where the visitor bench is. So I actually ended up having a better view because I was up and moving around. It was complete chaos. And, obviously that is the best chase down block against the Warriors in NBA history. There's nothing I can think of that even
Guys
compares.
are really laying it on thick to start the show tonight. Jeez.
No, I mean, look, I was pretty down with the way that game was turning out.
Yeah.
Like with the way that they blew that lead. It was one thing to have a bad third quarter. The way they played in the fourth quarter was somehow even worse. And for them to go all the way from 22 up at halftime to down late, I was sitting here going like, this is worse than the Chicago game. This is the worst collapse they've had. And so much of it was about the young guards that you have so much invested in, the turnover problem that they have and their inability to handle pressure and the defense that ignited. It was like, this is bad. This is one of the worst nights of the year. And then all of a sudden, literally in a span of 9 seconds, that completely changed. And it's not like it just changed like, okay, you made a shot and you won. The way that you won with, Tyrese getting that shot blocked, VJ coming down, making that shot, that follow-up in one motion, and then the chaos of Melton just sprinting down the court. What do you make that shot with? Like 0.9? It was less than a second. It was 0.9 seconds left. There should be no way that they get a layup. Next thing you know, D'Anthony's just all alone. He's all alone. I think it was Buddy who threw the outlet. Perfect outlet.
And the best pass probably of Buddy
he's
Hield's
ever
life,
thrown.
honestly.
And you're like, oh my God, this is actually going to happen. And Tyrese, he wasn't even in the play. And he just comes out of nowhere with that incredible block. It was, like I said, pure chaos. The crowd was incredible. It was a swing of emotions that, like, for a regular season games, you don't want to say too much of it because the stakes are pretty low. For a regular season games, that was as chaotic, as entertaining, as thrilling of a victory as I can remember for, like I said, a regular season game. And it really covered up what was going to be a pretty bleak night. Because I really, that game just absolutely drove me nuts with the way that they blew it. But you saved it at the last second. You saved it with, a guy in VJ who really, because he came out and he scored 5 points in the first minute of the game. And then he did nothing on offense. He played some good defense. He contributed in other ways. Nothing on offense for him to get that game-winning shot, for Tyrese to make that play.
First one ever for him, according to VJ.
At any level?
Last night. That's what he said in the post-game interview, that he had never had a game winner before.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was an absolutely incredible moment. It doesn't mean I'm not worried about the way their offense gets in the second half because, we watch these games and how could you not get worried with the way their offense stagnates in the second half. But as a pure moment, it was great.
Kyle, you were off, so you were.
Oh, I was off.
You were super busy.
I will catch up on that game tomorrow for the sake of logging all of these. Because I watch games on my honeymoon, honestly.
Yeah.
So when I had to catch up a few years back, so I will get to this one after missing last night's game. But basically all I saw was the end. I thought what was remarkable was the outlet and that pass from Buddy Hield. And the fact that had they lost there, had D'Anthony Melton not only been able to take it in, but make a layup, which, as you alluded to, not exactly a guarantee.
And Tyrese kind of joked about afterwards.
Rightfully so.
VJ was like, yeah, he had a clean layup. He's like, Melt wasn't making that.
Melton missed an ungodly amount of layups during his time as a Sixer, including some that you just are confused at how anybody can miss the layup.
Yeah.
But I thought what was remarkable was that I wouldn't have been able to fault the Sixers. VJ makes the play on the offensive rebound, and there's very little from a rookie sense of like, yeah, I did something. He's
they
in the
transitioned
play.
right
He's
away.
sprinting down the floor as well. Maxey obviously recognized it quickly enough and was further back, so he had a better chance to make the play and did make the play. But I thought it was pretty great presence of mind from all those guys in that situation. It just so happened that D'Anthony leaked out early and had what looked to be a clear lane to the basket. So incredible defensive play by Tyrese. And frankly, this has been his best defensive season yet. Yeah. I think that's part of why they've been able to creep up toward middle of the pack here on defense, is that he's playing 40 minutes a game. If a guy's playing 40 minutes a game, is playing better defensively, helps everybody else out.
I looked at that play probably 100 times since last night when it happened, and you notice so many different things, as we all do when we go back and look at different videos and multiple times. Number one for me, as you guys talk about the Tyrese Maxey point, we mentioned it last night, he was in the bench. Yeah. Everyone was standing up. He was in the crowd of the bench. Joel was kind of holding him back after the shot was made because they're ready to celebrate. Then after he leaks out, Joel was kind of on the floor, and it's like, get back. The game is not over, right? Right. Get back so you're not getting a technical foul from being on the floor and trying to celebrate before it's too soon. Then it's the VJ presence of mind to not celebrate but get back. D'Anthony Melton having the presence of mind to run, knowing that there was still time left on the clock, and for Buddy Hield to also say, hey, grab the basketball and just fling it down the floor because someone's going to be down there. He gets ahead of it all. Dominic Barlow was in the painted area. He beats VJ Edgecombe down the floor to contest it with Maxey. And Maxey, again, just being in the bench with everybody else, but to get back full sprint, beat the basketball down, basically even up with the basketball down the floor. The basketball is faster than you. And he gets down there in enough time to pin that thing on the backboard, not foul, by the way. And then if you look at the replay many times, you'll see D'Anthony Melton. I questioned it in a moment because I was like, why are you going up with the left? Instead of, the smart thing he did was let it bounce, where he doesn't touch it and the clock doesn't start. So if you're going to do that, do it with your strong hand to try to get it. And if they do come across your body, you might get fouled. You might at least arm or body, you might get the layup. A lot is happening in the split second like that. So again, that's just me reacting, watching it 100 times. But just great all around from everybody, including Melton for getting out there, leaking in front of the defense to give them an opportunity to make it. But hats off to those guys with how they closed it and how they finished. Just an epic, epic finish for how the game went. It takes away from the fact that we're not talking about the 24-point, giving up the 25-point lead and getting back to.
I'm glad I haven't had to watch it yet, because now I know they won.
It'll be way less stressful.
There will be no like, oh my God,
but it's almost like
talk about this with everybody afterward.
When you guys though are in the building and Tyrese goes for 44 and we're talking about the two misses at the free throw line, right? And in this case, you blow the 24-point lead, but boy, did you save it. And this is exactly what they've been doing all season long. Maybe not as worried about your heart and all that stuff as you're watching it, but they've been in every one of these games, and we've talked about them plenty, playing in clutch games because of where they are at the 5-minute mark and what ultimately turns out in the end. So they're 12-9. They have an opportunity to improve to 13-9 tonight because Giannis is not playing. So when we get back, we'll talk about the Bucks and the Sixers. No Giannis. Kyle mentioned it before we even got started. The Bucks beat the Pistons the other day, and they won, and it was a pretty good win for them without Giannis out there on the floor, who left the game early due to a calf injury. But we now have to talk about the Sixers on the second night of a back-to-back, playing the Milwaukee Bucks without Giannis, how the Bucks are going to also try to exact some revenge after Tyrese Maxey pulled their heart out their chest with a 54-point career night 2 weeks ago in an overtime victory. It's the PHLY Sixers pregame show. Kyle and Derek are back. Me and Bree are still here. All of you, welcome as always. We'll come back. We'll get to it all, including the starters right here on the PHLY Sixers pregame show presented by, I'm telling you about them on the other side.
All right.
Thank you. And that is the Bet365 and our great people from Bet365. Whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. You get a 30% profit boost tonight, everybody. If you want to jump in on some NBA basketball, including your Philadelphia 76ers going for their third win in a row, all you have to do is become one of the 90 million users worldwide, where you get over 780,000 live events each year on the app, and you get early payout offers in the NBA and the NHL. Had you taken the Sixers last night against Golden State to go up by more than 20, you would have won that early payout offer like I did at Bet365. So new customers, if you want to jump in and get in on that 30% early profit boost there for the basketball games tonight in the association, new customers, breaking news for you. You get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Nobody else is doing that but Bet365. All you have to do is deposit $10, place a bet for $5, and you get $150 in bonus bets. Those bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Once again, win or lose, whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. Make sure you check in there. Once you do, you sign up. You know that we sent you. Must be 21 plus, physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Also, have to tell you about, hey, listen, we're getting into the holiday season and we are partnering up. If you've heard the Eagles talk about it, maybe the Flyers talking about it as well, maybe the Phillies, well, we're going to tell you about it here on the PHLY Sixers podcast, and that is Aura Frames. Aura Frames is the hidden gem that becomes a favorite gift long after the wrapping paper is long gone as we approach holiday season. We're actually in it, right? All right, well, we have it here at PHLY. You should have it too. Right now, unlimited free photos and video. Just download the Aura app and connect to the Wi-Fi. It's just that easy. You preload photos before it ships. Keep adding more from anywhere, anytime to your Aura frames. Personalize the gift as well. Add a message before it arrives, and your loved one will absolutely be thankful for what you gave them with the Aura frame. Share photos, videos effortlessly straight from your phone all year long. The gift box included. Every frame comes packaged in a gift box with no price tag. For a limited time right now, don't wait with the holidays now. With Aura Frames, for a limited time, save on the perfect gift by using auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver Matte Frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using promo code PHLY at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code PHLY. This deal is exclusive to our listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Welcome back to the PHLY Sixers pregame show. Sixers Bucks coming up. 8 o'clock start time on this Friday night. We hate the 8 o'clock starts, but here we are. That said, Kyle, Giannis.
Damn Central Time Zone.
It does help him out after playing a long game like that. But Kyle, Giannis now back in the mix in terms of these trade rumors and his wanting to be in Milwaukee or not. I thought that they would just run through the season. Yeah, these things would come up, but it would all get squashed and nothing was happening. But for whatever reason, the record #1 and the fact that it just doesn't seem like he's loving it there right now for what's going on, and it has.
What a nice way to put it. It doesn't seem like he's loving it there in Milwaukee.
Doesn't seem like it, but it's popped back up here where we're talking about Giannis with so many other teams. There are a number of them, and he sustains the calf injury. I said it to you earlier in the day, yesterday. Man, I had flashbacks. I thought it was going to be his Achilles, and it was not. Thankfully, it was a calf strain, but he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. What do you make of this right now? We know that also that December hits. This is when team players that are signed in the offseason, they become able to be available to be traded around December 15th. And, of course, going forward towards the trade deadline. What do you make of all this right now?
Well, I think he's about to be the white whale for every NBA executive who has chips to trade. Every single team in the league that is not boxed in and is not just too far away to justify trading for Giannis will try to get in the mix for Giannis. And I think given the whole offseason was spent with similar reporting that, Giannis is looking at his future and whatnot, for it to pop up again now on December 5th, the Bucks are 10-13. Some of that is because Giannis has been out of the lineup, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have him out there, you're not winning games. The other night is a notable exception. But it just seems like the writing has been on the wall for a little bit when they waived and stretched Dame Lillard's contract to try to get Myles Turner in there. You bring Turner in, you have what you have in place with Kuzma and some of these other guys. Giannis is just looking around, I think, and saying, I believe I'm still at that top 5 player type level. My window to win and win as one of the best players on a team is very short. So I think he's looking to go somewhere where he can probably win. I would say, I do think that there's a possibility, and even as someone who adores Giannis for how competitive he is and how consistent he's been and just the tone that he sets every day, he is slowly starting to accumulate a bunch of these injuries over and over again. And as a very physical-based player, athletically-based player, I wonder if a team makes like a true Godfather offer and it's like, we're trading you all the picks, 2 young players, a good player on a good contract. I do wonder if it ends up working out for them the same way that trading for Dame Lillard worked out for the Bucks, and that it looks good when he's on the floor, but is his availability, is his peak power still there at this point? I'm not sure. But I think there are at least probably 5 to 10 teams that have a reasonable case. Like, you should try to go get him and try to win a title this year. A couple of the most interesting ones to me, the San Antonio Spurs, obviously, because they got stuff to trade. And if you put Giannis and Wemby on the floor together, that's maybe the most interesting basketball team this century immediately. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, who else registers for you as a team that you think they should go after him to try to win this year and next? I think would be I think he can opt out in 27, if I remember correctly.
I'm not sure. I have to look into that. Atlanta's the one that a lot of people have brought up, in part because they had New Orleans pick the trade.
Yeah. And the Trae Young situation, like, that's a big contract. If Milwaukee just wants to be kind of mid and you want a guy who can be the face, you trade for Trae Young and whatever other stuff they can give you, the pick that you're talking about. I've heard Detroit floated by some people. That'd be a weird one in division. And Giannis has killed the Pistons for forever. So it'd be a nice bit of revenge, I guess, for the Pistons to get him. I don't know. Anybody else that I feel like I see, and this happens all the time, but all the Lakers fans are like, got to get Giannis to play with Luka. And like, what a fantasy trade that would be. I guess if you could trade Reeves and other contracts like and cobble it together. Yeah.
The only other one, of course, the Knicks. And and as I say that and we're scrolling on Twitter, I see somebody that has something on Reddit, of course, that says it's basically done, right? So, but with that, and it seems like if that was the case, it would be built around Karl Anthony Towns potentially and see where it goes from there. The problem there is the other 3 teams that you guys mentioned of San Antonio, Atlanta, and I don't know about Detroit's draft history right now and what they have available, but some of the other ones was OKC. Should they jump in because of all that?
Well, right, they just have a billion picks.
Right. The Knicks don't have that. They just have the salary that they can trade, and that seems like that's one of his, if this is all real, that's a destination spot for him. So we'll see, but I didn't think this would resurface as soon as it has. I really did not. I thought that, sure, it'll bring up, but it would also die down pretty quickly. And I also, because I didn't think there would be a team that's below 500. I thought they would be in the top 6 pretty regularly because of how good he is. Now, I know you're about to jump in, but he leads the team, 29 points a game, 10 rebounds, 6 assists in all these categories, and he's played in 17 of 23. He's going to miss tonight, so 17 of 24. He's still Giannis, and Kyle, you're right about the medical history, and maybe some other teams will look at that part, but then they'll also see their record. They'll see what's going on in their conference and say, no, we're jumping back in.
Like,
and we're just gonna do it.
Yeah. I thought the Myles Turner acquisition would get them to at least a trade deadline.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect it to come this early. I did look, I remember over the offseason, I sat here and I was like, they should probably look into trading him right now during free agency. Like, don't wait until he demands out. Trade him now while you have a little bit of leverage, because the logical conclusion is eventually he's going to get frustrated. You don't have enough. You're not going to be able to complete. You're not going to be able to keep him happy. At least trade when you're coming from a position of strength. So it doesn't stun me that this happened, but like I said, I thought the Myles Turner acquisition would buy them at least until the trade deadline to try to prove themselves as a new squad. Look, they're still going to be operating from a position of strength because they have Giannis. And whenever you have a star of that caliber, I think Kyle's point a little while ago that a lot of these star trades have gotten, like, they're risky. Like, there's so many people right now that go all in on a star. Only one team can win every year. That means a lot of people going all in are going to end up coming up short and being frustrated, but you are still seeing them traded for a lot of draft equity. It is going to be interesting. This is a guy who is operating at an MVP caliber level. Now, we did just see somebody in the offseason that was operating at an MVP caliber level traded for a not great package, but that's because that GM is now out of a job and operated as I don't want to use a word that I wanted to say because we want to be respectful to our fast channels, did not make the best decision in the world. Yeah, look, it'll be really interesting. This is a guy who I think Kyle's concern about his injury history is correct. I think the fact that he is missing more games. Giannis, obviously they won that last game against Detroit, but they had lost the previous 5 games that Giannis was out. So they are a team that really, really is going to struggle without him. I think they have to get the best draft capital and or young player like a Reeves, someone like that, if that was actually on the table, that they can get. But you never know what these ownership groups are pushing for. Are they trying to be a middle-of-the-pack team and keep fans in the building?
Yeah.
This will be fun to watch play out.
Real fast.
The Detroit situation, just because you brought it up, they don't have any incoming or outgoing first-round picks. So they control their own draft pick future.
Which
but they
with
don't
Cade
have any,
and Giannis.
Right. And it's like if you get those two on the same team, they're probably not going to be that great of picks. But they can theoretically offer any first-round picks that they want from their collection. So that's helpful.
I just wanted to point out that Podcast World, Bill Simmons, who gets stuff, he heard it multiple times at the Miami Heat.
And they're always, look,
yeah.
I will always roll my eyes at it and then be like, no, you're right. Like, they're always hunting for a big fish. Guys always want to play there. You get them on your HGH program. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
but they've been very good.
Yeah.
Especially relative to expectations. They do have a lot of those kind of mid-sized contracts. And if you combine those and turn it into that and picks, I don't know what their pick situation is. And I think
he said
they
maybe
owe
2
to Charlotte in 27, and that's it. They basically don't have second round picks for the next half decade or more.
Right.
And they do have 1 incoming second from the Nets. But yeah, most of their first round picks are available. So that's another interesting one.
Just because you brought it up, Miami, 14-8, 4th seed in the East, top 3 defense in the league. If this stays throughout the entire season, can we please get Spo a coach of the year? Like, please. He would deserve it for this.
I would also say, and I know we talked about him last year as an all-star candidate, all that. I think the public definitely, but the Clippers certainly undervalued Norm Powell and way overvalued Bradley Beal, because essentially what they did was trade him so that they could sign Brad Beal and bring in John Collins. And I think we've talked about this on the show a little bit, but I get the logic of you get 2 players with that money. You get Brad Beal on the mid-level and John Collins is a rotation forward, can do some different stuff for you. But boy, they undervalue what Norm Powell was bringing to that team because he is a very, very good player.
And he's back in the All-Star mix as far as conversation in the Eastern Conference. So it should be an interesting one. And when Simmons did bring it up, he brought up a package centering around Khalil Ware, Tyler Hero, and some other picks. There was another one, I believe, that he just mentioned, Bam and Yakachonis, because Yakachonis hasn't really worked out in Miami. And just kind of centering around the same names, but along those lines. And if anyone wants to take Terry Rozier's contract since all that stuff is going on.
No comment.
Just to make it work, right?
Scary Terry indeed.
So it's interesting. And last night someone said in the chat, because of Giannis going down in the game, Janai Broom for Giannis, Janai Broom and picks for Giannis, who says no? So that was thrown in our chat last night.
I think I know who says no. It's the Milwaukee Bucks.
So
thank you for the suggestion.
There's that. So Bucks are 10-13, Sixers 12-9 right now. Sixers are right out of the top 6 at number 7 in the Eastern Conference, and the Bucks did though win, like Kyle pointed out, their last game. They had a players only meeting earlier in that day, and then they were down big in that game, came back and defeated the Detroit Pistons by 3.
Short-handed Doc Rivers. Right up there with Red Auerbach and Phil Jackson.
Yep, 113. I said 3, it was 4. 113-109. They defeated the Giannis played that night, and they defeated the Milwaukee Bucks in that one. So right now, Sixers in the standings as games are currently underway. They are half game back of Boston and Orlando. At the moment, the Sixers are tied with Cleveland and Atlanta. The Bucks are 3 games back of Sixers, Cavs, and Hawks as we go into tonight's games. And a lot of those teams are playing right now, including Boston blowing out the LA Lakers, who was the Sixers will host on Sunday night. No,
the
LeBron.
Celtics have been playing pretty well, man.
The Celtics are 13-9 right now, 13-9, and they have won 3 games in a row.
Sixers caught them at a good time getting all these. They never get
3
them
games
early. They got them before the Celtics got rolling,
Yes.
and they're 2-1. It ends up working out well for them.
2-1, absolutely. So the starters, Bree, let's see who's running out there tonight in the starting lineup. You got Andre Drummond at the 5 with no Joel Embiid tonight. Dominic Barlow in his normal spot at the 4. Paul George returns. He's in with Joel out. VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey back in the backcourt for Nick Nurse's team in the starting lineup. So that's what it looks like for the Sixers tonight. No surprises. No surprises there.
I'm interested to see how many minutes VJ plays tonight and how Jared is used subsequently, because VJ on the second half of back-to-back, as they are still kind of limiting his minutes. What do you play? Something
25,
like
51.
25?
25-51.
Last night. So can he get more than that? Did they keep him right around that number on the back-to-back? And then if he still stays relatively limited, because that's a good chunk of minutes for a rookie, does that open the door for Jared McCain? We'll see. But a couple of the things I'm monitoring tonight.
We did have a super chat related to that, I believe.
Okay.
Did we?
Related
or was
to
it just
McCain.
a supporters club
It might have
member?
just been a supporters club member. I might have screwed that up.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I saw that it was highlighted.
From
but-
Markel Futz.
Okay.
Yes.
Said McCain had a 9-game stretch of 18, 27, 23, 34, 29, 20, 20, 30, 18 in his rookie season. Those are points totals.
Yeah.
He needs more minutes, especially when the braces come off. Well, he's not wearing the bulkier brace right now. He's wearing more of a sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really get to see the actual device or sleeve that's on it, but that is off. But I think we're basically in agreement. I think all of us want to see McCain as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, he was playing so last night he only played 21 minutes. He didn't, quite frankly, look good. I didn't think on merit he deserved to be out there all that much. A lot of the turnover problems they're having in the second half he was at least a part of the problem.
Yep.
In fact, he had 2 real costly ones in a row. He was before that, the 5 games before that, he was playing 27 per. Maybe a little low. Maybe you want 30, 32. But I don't think it was drastically off, especially considering that those were the first couple games he started to show real life in his game. Mm-hmm. Look, when they're healthy, which hasn't really happened all that much, but and by healthy, I'm including Paul George, because Paul George and Kelly Oubre impact the minutes of the guards, because you can play a little bit fewer 3-guard lineups, which means that Grimes going to play more at the 2 and yada, 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 less opportunity. But they're a deep team. I don't expect him to play that stretch that that Markel Futz referenced. He was playing 34, 35 minutes per night, because that was the portion of the season when Tyrese Maxey was out. Mm-hmm. I don't think you're going to see that, just because I think there's way more talent on the perimeter on his team right now. I would like to see that creep up a couple of minutes, though.
And he needs a better night. The last 2 games, 5 points in the game against Washington, and this one also not a great performance in this particular game as well. So, all right, let's get to the Bet365 pregame picks presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment's never ordinary at Bet365. What do we have here tonight, Bree? Say it again.
Paul George over 2.5 threes made.
Yeah.
Plus 135. That's Bree's bet tonight.
Okay. All right.
All right, Bree, let's see what you got.
So mine was, I did have it. I don't know why. Again, it didn't. I could have sworn it's just whatever reason it didn't send to Bree like it was supposed to. Everybody, I apologize.
Come on, Devon.
Mine was
Need to get you that Xfinity Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I guess so.
Rich talking all that trash, and it's Devon's Wi-Fi that stinks the whole time.
Mine was let me look it up here as you guys can make sure you place your bets that following Bree there on hers, and make sure you use code PHLY365 when you sign up. My bet on this one tonight was we do have good Wi-Fi in here, but
Devon forgot his password. We'll have to let you know after the show, I suppose.
This is some great podcast.
This is great podcasting, everybody. But I had Ryan Rollins 15+ points tonight.
My guy.
Yeah, I had Ryan Rollins 15+ points, and I had who else was it? I can't remember because for whatever reason it's not allowing me to.
At least Bree got her bet in.
Bree got the bet in, so that's what we'll go with there tonight. All right, that'll do it for us here. Make sure you go and sign up PHLY 365, and new customers get $150 for your first bet, win or lose, when you do. In
My
fact,
bet,
sign up.
which you can't place on Bet365, but my bet is Devon has a better number for next pregame show.
I thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. And Ryan Rollins 15+, 3 assists, 3+ assists for VJ Edgecombe and Dominic Barlow. That's a 5+ ticket there at +140 for a same game parlay. So good luck, everybody. We'll see you 10 minutes after the game goes final, or maybe sooner if we get started right before 10 minutes. Make sure you are subscribed, and the bell icon will alert you that it is, in fact, showtime. But 10 minutes after the game goes final, we'll be back here for the post-game show. So for Derek, Kyle, and Bree, I'm Devon. We'll see you post-game right here on the PHLY Sixers post-game show.
We all silly like the mayor.